So I'm doing something a little bit different in my sketchbook today. This is a picture of our camper van, or camping car in French, and we're parked at the side of the road, so I could stop and take a photograph of that lovely mountainous view behind, which I shall be painting in a moment, so stick around. And the sketchbook's an ideal tool to paint something different. I probably wouldn't do a demo of my painting my camper van, but why not? And also I shall learn the French word for parking camper van on a mountain road. I'm not sure what that is. So I write a little French phrase. Those of you who are new to the channel here, that on this channel I tend to share other stuff. I've got an oil painting channel and a watercolor painting channel where I do lots of full tutorials, and I've got a membership on my website which has lots and lots of demos. But this sketchbook is just me having a bit of fun using gouache here. Totally new to gouache, but I'm starting to think this could be a good medium for me, alongside obviously watercolors and oils. So this is a fairly new camper van for us. That we had one before, we made ourselves, but we converted a Vauxhall Vivaro van into a camper van. But when we moved to France, we had to re-register it here in France, and because the vehicle was a little bit older, it probably wasn't worth paying the expense to import it. So this is actually another French registered vehicle that Kate's father converted, and they didn't really get on with the left-hand drive, so they then imported another vehicle from the UK to get the right-hand drive. But took me a bit of getting used to driving a vehicle on the other side. Bounced off the curb a few times. So that's what I'm kind of painting, that scene there. And although my sketchbook was designed to be just some very loose sketches, it's ended up being some quite sort of detailed things in here, but I'm quite enjoying doing it. So it's not totally perfect, this drawing of the van here, but it's close enough for what I want. And it's an ideal thing to do the sketchbook while I'm waiting for, I'm currently rendering some videos I'm going to go live on YouTube with later today. That's rendering, those who aren't editors, or when you edit your video and then the computer does its thing to make it ready to post on YouTube. All good fun. Try and get that blended look. So gouache does dry pretty quick, but I can re-wet it there. Same right at the top there. Let's come back and put those details in. Wing mirrors. The only issue that we've had driving on the other side of the road was actually in the UK. When we went back to Cornwall, it's the UK. But a van came around the corner and was on the wrong side of the road pretty much and knocked my wing mirror off. I thought it would be my fault, but it's actually their fault. Easy enough job to replace, though. I expect on vans, mirrors are always getting knocked off. So there's a nice bit of detail on the van there. A little bit of a reflection. It's a little bit bigger, this van. This is a Nissan NV400 based on the Renault Master van. So it's a little bit bigger than the Vivaro van we had. Although we quite like our little Vivaro, and we probably would have kept it if it wasn't so complicated to re-register it and then import it into France. Also a bit of sentimental value to it as we modified it ourselves. So the bumper comes around there. The number plate. The wheels are turned in slightly. Can't really see because it's all in shadow. So I shall do that with the painting as well. Just lose a lot of it into the shadow. A lot of this is silver. Even though the number plate is white, in the shadows it appears silver. But the rest of it will be quite easy to paint and probably a lot quicker. But just a bit more detail for the vehicle, and I don't mind it being a little bit quirky, as in not particularly accurate. I need a tiny brush. Very rarely do I use these small brushes. I think that will do for the van for the moment. I think we'll come back and tidy that up. If it needs it. Right, now the fun parts. There's that lovely blue sky. This was in the Pyrenees. We're on the French side. Soft edges off in the distance here, so get the paper wet. Those clouds meet the distant mountains there, and you can't really see where the mountains or the clouds begin. I wasn't sure about that blue. Go for a slightly different sky to reference. I have to stick to that. And then this mountain again just gets lost in the sky. Starts to steer towards green as we need to wait for that to dry a little bit. There's been a hard edge there. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let's go nice and dark along the top here. A little highlight on top of the van. Steer that towards green. But, camper van's a good tool for painting. You can get to various places and just pull up if you can park somewhere. I quite often take a push bike with me so I can get to places where the camper van is not convenient to get to. Just a bit of a wall there. That works quite well to break that up and lead us into the scene. That's what's good about gouache, it dries so quick. But like any medium I've painted with over the years, it'll take a bit of time to get used to painting with it. But the best way I've found is to actually just paint with it, learn on the job. Be quite soft off in the distance here as it's a way away. Everything gets a little bit warmer as it gets closer. Warmth in those trees. These trees are in shadow. More towards blue. There's a house there, which is quite nice, gives us an idea of scale. Much warmer on this side because the sunlight is hitting this part of that mountain, and that just again acts as a bit of a stop, which will leave a bit of room for writing my little bit of French text. This barrier receiving a lot of light. These barriers are good to make you feel you're not going to fall off the side of the edge of the road. And we've got warmth of that road there. Not quite the right colour, that isn't. Let's grey it off a little bit. We need the dark part of the road, which will then make that look nice and bright. The van actually gets lost in the shadows in there, which is quite good. I need to leave room there to write my little sentence. Just paint the road markings on afterwards. Just put a bit of a shadow under the van, just to anchor that to the surface.